Hi friends. I welcome you all to another amazing podcast series that we are having right now. Today with us, there is a very exceptional person. Okay. We have already had a discussion with Nihar Ranjan Sahu sir in the first podcast. If you haven't already watched it, मैं आप सभी को सजेस्ट करूंगा कि पार्ट 1 को आप पहले देखिए क्योंकि वहाँ हमने निहार रंजन साहू सर के बारे में आपको एक क्विक इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है और वहाँ हमने उनकी पूरी जर्नी के बारे में बात की है. So just to give you a very short introduction about the host, about the guest today, Nihar Ranjan Sahu sir has done his masters from IIT Bangalore. He has secured All India rank 9 in GATE Computer Science, and he has and is doing PhD from IIT Bombay at present. Okay, इसमें फर्स्ट पार्ट में हमने उनकी जर्नी के बारे में बात की कि हाउ ही एक्चुअली डिसाइडेड टू लैंड इनटू गेट कंप्यूटर साइंस. उसके बारे में आप जरूर देखिएगा. इट्स अ वेरी इंस्पिरेशनल जर्नी. एंड फिर हमने बात की है कि व्हाई इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर पीपल नाउ डेज टू हैव अ हैंड ऑन अपस्किलिंग. एंड फिर हमने उनके जो वेरियस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस है उसके बारे में भी उन्होंने हमें एक शॉर्ट इंट्रोडक्शन बताया कि कितने रिसर्च पेपर्स एंड कितने कॉन्फ्रेंसेस उन्होंने अटेंड किए हैं एंड कौन से ईयर में एंड कहाँ पर अटेंड किए हैं. तो डेफिनेटली ये सब चेकआउट करने के लिए आप पार्ट 1 को देख सकते हैं. एंड जो एक बहुत ही बड़ा डिबेट है विच इज आईआईटी बॉम्बे वर्सेस आईएससी बैंगलोर, ये उनसे बेहतरीन और कोई नहीं बता सकता है हु हैज बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ बोथ द इंस्टीट्यूट्स. तो वो भी आपको पार्ट 1 में मिलने वाला है. तो जरूर उसे देखिएगा बिकॉज दिस इज द पार्ट 2 विच वी हैव ब्रॉट टू यू ऑन पब्लिक डिमांड. हमें काफी ज्यादा डीएम्स पे रिक्वेस्ट आई थी एंड यू हैव बीन रिक्वेस्टिंग टू हैव सम मोर इंसाइटफुल डिस्कशन विद सर. ओके, तो एक डिस्क्लेमर आपको देता हूँ कि सर एंड आई नो each other since 2019, although we didn't had much of a communication because we both were occupied with our own priorities and placements and research publications and all. But the relationship wise he's really very humble and he's very ground to earth person. तो डाउन टू अर्थ पर्सन. सो हो सकता है कि मैं ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम उन्हें कभी सर बोलूँ या कभी भैया बोलूँ बिकॉज द रिलेशनशिप इज लाइक अ बिग ब्रदर बट द रिस्पेक्ट इज लाइक अ सर. ओके, सो या जस्ट एज अ डिस्क्लेमर. सो भैया, डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट्स. ओके, तो पहले पार्ट में आपने हमें पूरी अपनी
Mhm.
जर्नी के बारे में बताया है एंड यू हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट द रिसर्च वर्क. बट सबसे पहले मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि व्हाट हैज बीन योर ओन डेटा एनालिटिक्स अपस्किलिंग जर्नी. बिकॉज अगर आप डेटा एनालिटिक्स में काम कर रहे हो या इफ यू आर इवन वर्किंग इन द मशीन लर्निंग डोमेन, आई गेस डेटा एनालिटिक्स इज अ मस्ट एंड इज अ प्री रिक्विजिट. तो
Yeah.
आपकी खुद की क्या जर्नी रही है? बिकॉज नाउ डेज देर आर लॉट्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेज एंड ऑल बट व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड देयर वर नॉट सो मेनी, राइट? तो आपकी क्या एक जर्नी रही है? दिस
Yes,
विल
yes.
इंस्पायर स्टूडेंट्स टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज दैट सो इजी जो आज के जमाने में उन्हें प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है. तो आप प्लीज डिटेल में अपनी खुद की जर्नी शेयर करिए. आपने कैसे फिगर आउट किया व्हाट स्किल्स यू शुड लर्न एंड हाउ दे आर हेल्पिंग यू टुडे in your day-to-day work at IIT Bombay as a researcher. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to your question, thanks for the introduction first. Yeah. Coming to your question, so when I started, you're very much true. Ki there was not much of resources.
Yeah.
If it was like it was, it's not. Those resources are not very famous.
Yeah.
Because nowadays this internet buzz is much more than those period. Like that was 8 years back.
Yes.
When
Yes.
I started my ML machine learning journey.
Yeah.
So I remember vividly the first instance, the first struggle. There was one of the assignment in IIC. They gave some uh, do some classification of this
Okay.
iris data set using SVM and PCA, all these
Hmm.
things. I was like, कि, okay, क्या visualization में दिखाऊं, कैसे दिखाऊं,
Yeah.
particularly. Okay, so I
Correct.
know SVM, I can write code for SVM or I can write code for PCA. Let's say I did that.
Hmm.
So PCA दो डायमेंशन में प्रोजेक्ट कैसे करूं, मतलब those basic things when it comes
Okay.
to visualization I was struggling then. I
Yeah.
mean, there were some friends who came from industry. They could kind of guide me
Hmm.
कि हाँ ये research पढ़ो, sorry ये resources check करो, ये resources check करो.
Hmm.
But I didn't know what's the right question to ask on Google also back then, because I was
Hmm.
coming from completely different domains. Like when I started bachelor's, I didn't know about anything. From computer science, when I started my master's, I didn't know anything about machine learning. So
Oh, yeah.
those I had zero prior about machine learning. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when that period I was struggling, and slowly I learned from my friends and again from
Hmm.
internet. what's the right question to ask on web and how to search it. And also like I am a person who takes kind of little bit studious approach. If I study
Okay.
something from book or learn something from videos, then that's easier for me.
Okay.
And that was not the case for data analytics kind of things back then. So it was little
Hmm.
tough for me. But no, nowadays there are many resources the way you are also doing. So
Yeah.
that might help someone else to kind of like
Streamlined
study
approach.
properly in a structured way, streamlined
Yeah.
approach to take
Yeah.
streamlined approach to learn this data analytics. Because everybody has different approaches, and of course it
True.
will help someone.
Awesome. And Bhaiya means talking about the skills, right? So I understood that you had to take a very difficult path, and students, you should really learn from him that the place that he's sitting today is not an easy place, right, to reach, and he has taken a very difficult path because due to the lack of resources and due to the lack of guidance available at his time. But आपके पास जो इतने सारे resources available है, जो इतने सारे वेल स्ट्रक्चर्ड कंटेंट अवेलेबल है, यू शुड एक्चुअली टेक इट सीरियसली बिकॉज वो बोलते हैं ना कि घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर टाइप्स, लाइक यू डोंट रिस्पेक्ट व्हाट यू हैव। करेक्ट। तो थोड़ी वैसी
Yes,
बात हो गई है
true.
आज के जमाने में कि स्टूडेंट्स को आप कितना भी अच्छा रिसोर्स बता दो, दे डोंट वैल्यू इट बिकॉज दे थिंक कि शायद इससे भी और इजी कुछ होगा। बट आई एम आस्किंग यू योर जर्नी बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स शुड रियलाइज हाउ ग्रेटफुल दे शुड बी for the current times, right? When they are getting so
Yes,
many insightful
yes.
discussions, जो आपसे मुझसे सभी लोगों से वो सीख पा रहे हैं इस पॉडकास्ट के थ्रू एंड ऑल, दे शुड एक्चुअली बी ग्रेटफुल फॉर दैट, राइट? तो मैं आपसे स्किल्स के मामले में सीखना चाहूंगा कि ओके, यू स्टार्टेड अपस्किलिंग योरसेल्फ इन डेटा एनालिटिक्स, बट आपका एक कोई स्पेसिफिक पाथ था, द वे यू हैव इनकॉर्पोरेटेड स्किल्स, जो भी आपकी कोडिंग जर्नी की स्किल्स थी, हाउ यू एक्यूमुलेटेड देम वन एट अ टाइम, एंड क्या आपका माइंडसेट था वो सीखते टाइम, इफ यू कैन शेयर।
I mean, it was just a fun ride. Like you want to learn Matplotlib from the beginning, you go
हम्म।
their webpage, but check whatever the things available there. If you're trying to
हम्म।
do it on your own, or let's say someone suggested some lecture series on YouTube,
हम्म।
or someone suggested some lecture series on Coursera, you follow
हम्म।
their content and so whatever the flow they are telling you, just follow the flow and do try on your own. On the fly,
हम्म।
also you think something else on your own, like okay, so got to know these things, so what extra can be done? So that
हम्म।
was always my approach. Like, but it's not like Matplotlib I use day-to-day life, like every day, but there will be like kind of periods where I'll be rigorously using Matplotlib or something like that.
हम्म।
The thing is, to reach a stage where you don't need to learn about Matplotlib will require it will require like kind of effort for a week or so. Like you
हम्म।
ask yourself some questions, okay, how do I code this plot? How
करेक्ट।
do I, what is the kind of input output format? What's the kind of alignment in that Matplotlib, whatever the plot you are drawing? So if you understand small nuances, then you can understand like all the possibility of that particular package. So it's your hands-on things majorly. The
हैंड्स
more
ऑन थिंग। हम्म।
yeah, so more and more interested you are into those particular topics, you will
हम्म।
kind of grab those concepts or those nuances
Awesome.
very
And
easily.
and actually, when I look back at it, this
It's
actually
like
resonates.
it's
Yeah.
like there are many plots even I never kind of try to do on my own, create
Mm-hmm.
on my own. But okay, so there is a requirement given the output and input output format. Okay,
Hmm.
can it be done? Then search some packages on Matplotlib or C1 or something like that. If
Hmm.
their packages offer those functions, those parameters are available, then let's try on your own those things.
Hmm.
But to start with, you have to start from basics. When you are
Hmm.
learning, you cannot learn to plot some very like kind of fancy
Heavy.
plots. Once you
Heavy
know
plots.
how to search, yeah, so
Correct.
you have to start small, but it's easily you can jump to like very complex things.
Absolutely. And talking about data analytics particularly, it's not a skill which you cannot see the result of, right? जैसे चलो एक बार का we can
Yes.
say कि coding skills like DSA. Okay, it's very difficult for you to judge yourself whether you are even understanding DSA or not, right? It will take your time to realize whether you are on the right path or not. But talking about data analytics, whatever skills we name, like Python, beat SQL, beat NumPy, Pandas, beat Seaborn, Matplotlib, right? Whatever skill you learn,
Yes.
it's very easy for you to validate whether you have understood it the right way or not. You can just take few
Yeah.
examples, you can plot, and you can see the visualization curve, right? Talking about data analytics and data
Yes.
visualization, right? If you're working with the numerical data, you can just check out and you can do a manual calculation and check whether the data is performing the way you are expecting it to
Yes.
be, right? So I believe
Yeah.
that data analytics makes it very easy to get started with because of this visualization element of it, right? And
Yeah.
actually, your philosophy is that you need to first understand the major things and then get into the depth. Resonates a lot with
Yes,
what
bro.
we have created these courses as well. तो जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ हाइलाइटिंग पॉइंट्स जो मैं आपके पॉइंट से रिलेट कर पा रहा था कि यू नीड टू ट्राई एंड लर्न. ये कोई ऐसी स्किल नहीं
Yeah,
है which you
yeah,
can read about.
I saw the like kind of the web page, whatever you have said for your
Yeah,
course also, like it's kind of in that similar way, like you first understand the basic building blocks.
yeah,
Once you know the basic building blocks, it's up to you now how do you connect them. So
yes,
it's like there are many problems and many solution approaches to every problem. So you know the
yes.
basic building blocks, which solution approach you take, it's up to you. But to know that you need a guide initially if you don't know anything.
Absolutely. And I'm really happy that you checked it out and you shared your views about it. So we have also worked with the same philosophy, like teach a skill, right? Take few examples and then solve interview questions. As simple as that, like complete practical series. Right from the first lecture till the last lecture, we have kept it complete practical. Like in the first lecture itself, I'm sharing my coding screen and doing how to print an element onto the screen using Python,
Mm,
taking a data frame and writing how to actually find the sum of all the elements in a column, talking about SQL, just teaching them what is the syntax of select keyword, and solving an interview question like given this database, find the first name of all the employees, right? So these are the exact same
interesting. Yeah.
problems we work on day to day life as well, like directly practical and coding problems to solve, right? And as you suggested, these skills come when you practice them hands on, like swimming, right? No matter
And
how
son,
many books you
yes.
read about swimming, like this is what you need to do, that is what you need to do. Unless and until you don't jump into
I
the
mean,
swimming pool, you will not learn.
that's that no one can take away from you. Like this,
Yeah.
even one of my friend was appearing for interview at one of the big
Hmm.
company research interview. Even in
Okay.
research interview, there was a round for like just Python programming. How comfortable are
Wow.
with Python programming? They used, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
a very big tech company. I'll not name anything, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were checking if you know like vectorization in Python. Vectorization
Hmm.
in Python generally helps to do multiplications or many complex
Correct.
arithmetics in quick time using
In
NumPy,
parallel.
Torch or
Yeah.
NumPy, all those things.
Correct.
Yeah, so are you comfortable with that or not? Can you write kind of lambda functions very well? All those things.
Yes.
I mean, they go from very basic to very
Very
high research oriented things also.
awesome. And means I can very much relate. For the same reason, we have kept vectorization, map, filter, reduce, lambda functions as part of our courses. Because even when I was working as a data scientist, this used to be the day-to-day work around this, right? Awesome. Really happy that I got a validation that we are actually moving in the right space as well. Uh, talking about your research work, right? So, as you mentioned in the first variant of the podcast, that you are working in the natural language processing domain. You have published lots of research papers, and you are working under Dr. Pushpak Bhattacharya, who is the most eligible person to be working under in this domain, right? So, would you like to share some few nuances? I know that lots of work that we do could be confidential, but whatever you are and you are comfortable sharing about your research work so that the audience can get inspired about what is the level of work that is happening, and you are working in a domain which is kind of the most hot topic nowadays, like NLP is given rise to
Hmm.
chat GPT, LLMs, and whatnot. So if you can just share a brief overview of what your work has been and what you intend to do with that work moving forward.
Yeah, so coming to my core work, generally I work on this responsible NLP field. So we
Hmm.
use this all. It all started with what to get, like how do we represent these words in through
Numerical form.
this
Yeah.
computer systems. Computer
Yeah.
systems only understand the binaries, but a binary we cannot
Yes.
write, so we can at least represent them through some numbers.
Yeah.
So, but when we represent through some numbers, there are some inherent biases model, whatever the systems learn about those words. Like one
Hmm.
classic example we know is like when you say bank, whether the bank is a verb or a noun, or even noun has different meaning.
Hmm.
Noun form of the bank has different meanings. So how model can understand? It
River bank
understand
or
from the
money
context.
bank kind of a
Money
thing.
bank. So it understand,
Yes.
yeah, it understand from the context. But similar thing, when people try to solve those things, it created some other problems, something like called bias or this toxicity, all these things.
Hmm.
Model unnecessarily learn some biases about some social groups or some community or some concepts uh,
Hmm.
like I will not give any examples, but all we all know about these kind of major bias issues towards different
Yes.
caste or religions, races, all these things, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
models started to learn about those like kind of spurious things that they should not learn,
Hmm.
because if they learn those things, their decision making will be again biased. If they
Hampered.
learn
Yeah.
something completely harmful about some particular community, their decision making will be negative about them. So how do we kind of detect what are such biases in
Hmm.
models starting with what to back till ChatGPT kind of things, and how do we
Hmm.
mitigate them? So this
Hmm.
is kind of major line of my work, and along with this also we know recent with the recent development of these generative models, because they are capable enough to generate many things. They can
Hmm.
generate also harmful things. So this concept is called something called jailbreaking kind of things.
Hmm.
So if you the goal is AI should be used in a safer environment. I mean, it should create a safer environment. But
Hmm.
if someone is using AI to kind of harm some communities
Hmm.
or some person, that's not acceptable. So
Unethical
those
practices
AIs,
should
those
be avoided.
unethical practices, exactly.
Yeah.
So those AI systems will be banned, of course. So uh, to check that if they are ethical or unethical, there is a concept of jailbreaking. So how do we
Okay.
try to jailbreak the language models? How do we prevent jailbreaking language models? So these are kind of my major area of work currently.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, going ahead, like I feel, of course, this will be as long as the language models are there, these concerns will always be there. So
Yes.
this is not going to be a dead field. But yeah, so that was my part of my PhD, but I cannot stay alone in this. So I'm
Hmm.
also kind of trying to diversify my areas, like staying in NLP or visa,
Hmm.
kind of staying in ML, but diversifying just from responsible NLP to other related problems in NLP also.
Awesome. Awesome. So means I can very much understand that how in demand this field would be because with the rising concerns about the rise of AI, right? AI तो increase हो ही रहा है लेकिन उसके जो concerns है
Hmm.
like people
Hmm.
are not even aware that which model is using their data. Like अभी एक बीच में गिबली
Yes.
trend आया था, right? So many
Yes.
people shared this views that they are actually using those photos to train their model, right? which
True. True.
which
True.
you would be the right person to comment is right or wrong, but what I understood is key people should be aware. The awareness is important. If you say that we are using your data to train our models and still people are sharing, that's completely fine, right?
That's
But there
fine.
should
Yeah.
be awareness about it, and that's what separates ethical practices from unethical practices, right? uh, so
I
uh,
mean,
uh,
nowadays these
yeah.
big tech companies say they know this problem can occur. So there will be some hidden term and conditions. Okay, there was some I button, and they mentioned about all these things. But
Okay.
generally, the naive
Hmm.
people, they don't know,
Don't.
and something
Yeah.
happens wrong.
It's like a 50 page 500 pages terms and condition kind of a thing that we have mentioned but no one goes through it anyways like that,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you give one realistic example of what you would consider as a unethical practice so that people understand? Because whenever we talk about this topic, people are like, no, if it is public, if it is shared publicly with us, it has to be ethical, right? So can you give any
Mm-hmm.
simple to and easy to understand example what separates a ethical practice from unethical practice in general, like in the recent times, if you can share any
So generally research things are pretty much open if it is not specific to company. If it is specific
company?
to
Yeah.
academia, then in academia research are pretty much open. So one of the academic research article I read back in 2022, like this GPT-2, GPT-3 kind of came out then.
Hmm.
So they just
Hmm.
prompted GPT-3, prompted in the sense they gave one or few words as input
Hmm.
strings to this
Hmm.
model called GPT-3, and the word was just Muslim. They just
Hmm.
asked the model, prompted the model with the word Muslim,
Hmm.
and 8 out of the 10 times it used to generate harmful things about Muslim community. So
Okay.
that's unethical. I mean, model has learned some
Bias.
spurious biases about the community, and of
Hmm.
course there are many good things. And every time generating, okay, if something is factual, you generate that factual, even if that is negative in
Hmm.
connotation, that is fine. But if it is not
Hmm.
factual, it's because these language models are intended to be intelligent. So their
Hmm.
intelligence being kind of used in a
Biased.
negative way, yeah,
Ah.
biased way.
Hmm.
So if that
Hmm.
intelligence go like in the wrong direction, that is kind of unethical. And one of the
Hmm.
example also this in one of the recent AI summit at Paris, Modi ji was giving.
Hmm.
So he was like trying to generate some image. Some person is writing, and the
Hmm.
person is actually left-handed, but model generated the person writing in right hand.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
model has seen more this writing kind of
Right handing.
images where
Ah.
the person is right-handed. So these are called
Oh.
this is also, it's not specific to any community as person, but this is also unethical because actual person is left-handed.
Oh, got it, got it. So friends, I hope you are also understanding that it's not that unethical is only about like taking away your data or something, right? It can be, it
Yeah.
is in a very broader aspect, as Sir has mentioned. Awesome. Really, really very interesting. So one thing I would like to understand here is that let's say, would you categorize uh, the recent model released by China, right? Would you also categorize
DeepSeek.
that as yeah, DeepSeek, right? Would you also categorize that as unethical because lots of trends were happening over LinkedIn that whenever someone is searching anything for China, it is saying that I don't give response whenever the topic is debatable. But when you put the same question for any other country, it used to give you a very debatable answer in
Yeah.
response. So would you categorize
Yeah.
also that as unethical in any way?
Yeah.
Personal views.
That is
Yeah.
Yeah, that is completely unethical also. Like if you are making some model publicly usable by anyone across world,
Hmm.
the model's behavior should be equitable. Equitable in the sense if you are preventing something for your country, you should prevent discussing those things for other countries
Other
also.
countries as well.
If you're
Ah.
if you're not doing that, then you have some different kind of your prejudiced perception about other things, and AI models should
Hmm.
not do that. As person, you are
Hmm.
allowed to do. You have options
Feelings
for
and all.
free
Yeah.
speech. Yeah,
Free
but
speech.
in AI there is no free speech
Oh,
because
it's
there are
fact
many.
based. It's fact based.
It's
Yeah.
fact based because it's
Correct.
completely business oriented, and
Hmm.
someone can sue you completely if your model is
Hmm.
doing something wrong against them.
Okay, understood. That's really interesting. Awesome. So yeah, like talking more around this area. So do you think the very recently debatable topic that AI is going to replace the job? Like this is a very broader thing that people are talking about. Although there are lots of nuances here, there are lots of specifications here. But if I just give you this broader aspect, that is AI or is AI is going to replace the jobs or it is going to disrupt the job market and lots of layoffs are going to happen moving forward more than the usual as well. So if I give you this very broader segment, how would you like to logically break it down for the audience, because there is lots of miscommunication happening, and honestly most of it is coming from people who are not even eligible or who don't even know the first hand reality about it. So if it is coming from a person like you who is sitting at the right place and who is seeing the revolution happening in front of him, again, I'll give you as a disclaimer that it would be your personal opinions, okay, no doubt
Yeah.
about it, because no one knows what's going to happen and the details around it. But yeah, what would be your personal opinion from whatever you have seen and the experiences you have had so far?
So what I feel is like, of course, it will reduce some of the jobs, but it will create much more new jobs also. Like when it comes to particularly, let's say some non-computer science fields like mechanical,
Hmm.
chemical, there also people are kind of integrating AI-based solutions.
Hmm.
So when you are integrating AI-based solutions, you need theoreticians in those fields. Also, you need who are in the juncture of that particular area and computer science or AI. So they
Yes,
need more people. So who knows both things. They need
domain
people who
knowledge.
knows their they have more domain knowledge. So that
Yes.
way it will also create more jobs. Coming to computer science also, even nowadays AI can do coding.
Hmm.
Always there will be human intervention involved. Like the
Hmm.
l- job load will be reduced, but we cannot completely take away the human effort.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, of course, like as the human effort is reduced, in many positions, the number of openings will be less, but that will also create more openings because there are more possibilities when
Hmm.
AI is coming into picture. And AI is also ever growing. Like it's nowadays, LLM is there. And in 5 years, LLM will not be there. Something else might be there. I mean,
Yeah. True.
people need to adapt there, learn those things. So we need people who can understand and do those things in right way. So of course, like some job will be dead, some new jobs will be there. So that entropy is not changing that much. People are
Okay.
afraid of it, but entropy will not change. It will of course create more jobs also.
Awesome. So, friends, means this thing coming from Nihar Ranjan Sahu sir, so you should definitely take it very seriously. Okay. So, as he has given you the right advice, that obviously some jobs which are replaceable are going to get replaced, because again there is no point you doing the hard work unnecessarily, right? You doing the repetitive work again and again. But on the other hand, as the market is going to look for smarter people, they are going to look for people who are upskilled to do the job or
Hmm.
to solve the problem that they are working at. It would create definitely lots of opportunities as well. Okay, so the entropy, as he said, that the minus and the plus would be somewhat cutting down each other, and things
But
would
balance
remain
balance out each other. Yeah.
balance out each other, yeah, and things are going to go as usual as well. So don't take it as an excuse. I'm telling you that we as seniors can understand that some of you might be taking it as an excuse, like let's not learn anything because AI is anyways going to replace it. Means I'm really shocked that I see people saying that you don't have to learn coding nowadays because AI is there for you. But then what they don't realize is कि जब वो prompt करेंगे and when the chat
Hmm.
GPT will be giving them the output, तो उनको वो कैसे समझेगा कि वो prompt सही है,
Exactly.
वो
सही है
आउटपुट सही है
एकदम.
या नहीं, how to plug and play it around it, right? So these are the few
Yes.
things that I don't know who is going to guide these people, this younger generation, because they are going in a very very wrong direction. So stop here and take this advice that upskilling should never stop. Okay, and friends, we believe so much in this that we ourselves have built our entire platform around it. Okay, so I am representing the nextbigtech.com, as you can see it on the t-shirt as well. So we have built this platform because we see that there is a huge gap. Okay, like a person like Nihar Ranjan Sahu sir is sitting at the right place. So he is having lots of guidance and he is also very much, I would say, self-motivated to upskill himself. But I know that 95% of the population that we have from tier 2 college, tier 3 college might not be having that right guidance with them. तो आप लोग के लिए हमने ये प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट किया है जहां हम आपको राइट वे में, एक सिस्टमैटिक वे में अपस्किल करने में हेल्प कर रहे हैं, दैट टू इन द फील्ड ऑफ डेटा एनालिटिक्स, बिकॉज data analytics is kind of the stepping stone to enter the data science domain and then the AI revolution as well, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
Via, thanks a lot for sharing your views around this very debatable topic. Now, for the final things, I would like to ask you. We'll just wrapping it up in around 8 to 10 minutes. So the final question that I would like to ask you is, एक ऐसे कौन सा चीज है that if you would have known when you were a student, like you were third year student, fourth year student, and you were just getting started with your career, एक ऐसी कौन सी स्किल है या एक ऐसी कौन सी टिप है जो आपको अगर पता होती तो you would have taken smarter decisions. And it can be anything, not just around studies or not just around having a job, but in general, which would have helped you save a lot of time and efforts in general. कोई ऐसी चीज जो आप स्टूडेंट से शेयर करना चाहोगे?
I mean, that will be my personal completely. That's just personal
Yeah, yeah,
experience, and
yeah.
maybe nobody would have faced such scenario. Like there was a phase in my 10th standard, like
Hmm.
10th got finished and marks were released, and I got kind of humongously less mark than I
Okay.
expected. So I was like, I was devastated and I was kind of demotivated,
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
about studies and exam
Hmm.
systems. Then I was like, okay, whatever will happen here only. Even my parents wanted me to go to bigger cities and do studies there. I didn't go there. I had
Oh.
opportunities because they are giving me opportunities. They're
Hmm.
giving me options. I stayed in my whatever the place I was, and I didn't get good circle.
Okay.
I feel I should have gone to bigger city, then would have got
Hmm.
better circle because of the coaching systems and all those things.
Hmm.
But I don't know where I would be if I had done that. But yeah, I still regret that I did that mistake.
So I would categorize that more of a lack of guidance issue rather than your mistake. Means honestly, right? Means.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that like nobody in that particular region
Hmm.
would come and tell me, can I actually you go there and you will see like you will get benefits. Like
Hmm.
particularly, I didn't know about IIT JEE till I write
Hmm.
my 12th final exam. So it's
Okay.
about
Lack of
guidance and
awareness. Yeah.
awareness actually. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
understood.
true.
Very much can relate actually. Like even I took a decision about engineering in a way कि CA तो नहीं करना है, and I don't even want to get into medical, so I decided to join engineering. And again, during the branch selection at our time, mechanical, electrical was also very famous, like
True.
2015
Yeah,
starting.
yeah.
So even the decision of computer science was like that only process of elimination, that I don't like memorizing things. And in mechanical or other branches, I have heard that they need to learn some theoretical concepts and all. So the obvious choice was to select computer science because it's very logical in nature. And जिससे भी पूछो आप इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में, they would suggest कि कंप्यूटर साइंस कर लो, बहुत ज्यादा स्कोप है. तो that's how also I took my decision of doing engineering in specifically computer science. So I can very much relate that lack of guidance is something that can create lots of hurdles in your journey. Although you will figure it
Yeah.
out at some point of time by just doing
Hmm.
and figuring things out, like the way machine learning is, right? You get enough data,
True.
reinforcement learning, I would say, you get the experiences, you accommodate to that on the basis of whether it's a reward or a punishment, and that's how you evolve, right? So the
Yeah.
same thing for us as well. But yeah, thanks to this podcast and thanks to you for sharing your views so that the remaining students and the remaining audience don't have to go through the same hard work or the same path, uh, and the same struggles. Yeah. And
True.
one final thing, what are your future plans? Like anything have you have decided, because you are now doing PhD at IIT Bombay, so you are at a very great place. Whatever decision you take would be an impactful step in your career. So any specific plan that you plan to proceed with?
That's very open-ended question. Currently, I mean, when you go for higher studies, you get more options,
Yeah.
and more options also make you more confused. So I don't know
Yes.
concretely yet, but yeah. So there are multiple options. I can go for academia, being a professor. I can go for job.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, I mean, there are other options also, but yeah. I mean, I have not decided or finalized anything yet. So, but yeah, something will.
You keep thinking about it,
Yeah, I
what all
keep thinking
can be
about
done.
it. Whatever I feel will be the best in a few months of time. I'll do that.
Awesome. And currently you are pretty much enjoying the field of work that you're doing. And uh,
True.
yeah, and I believe that you are working in a domain which is a responsible AI, and it is a responsibility of people like us to secure the people, the general audience, from the uh, unethical practices that are happening in the AI
True.
field. Because
Yeah.
the same applies to cybersecurity as well. I would say that with the rising
Yes.
scams that are happening on day-to-day basis, the cybersecurity domain is also on a very rise. Almost every company is looking for people who can handle the systems and can make the network more secure, right? So yeah.
True.
So friends, yeah, means thank you so much, Bhaiya. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views so openly. And friends, let me tell you that we had not even discussed these questions before because I wanted to make it
Yeah.
as natural as possible for you guys. Okay. So in the comments, in the description, I am sharing link to sir's LinkedIn profile so that you can also connect with him for further guidance if you need. And I'm also sharing the coupon code, which is Nihar10. It's in the description, using which if you join any of our courses, you will get a flat 10% off, because as we both believe in upskilling and education and research work, so we would like to promote your upskilling via us. Okay. So definitely you can check it out. It's for limited time. And I hope that you will utilize in the best way possible to get ahead in your career. So once again, on the behalf of the entire audience, thank you so much, Nihar Ranjan Sahu sir, and we also wish you all the very best. We are sure whatever you will do, that would be great as always, as you have been.
Yeah. Thanks for hosting me and doing good work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
career
Yeah.
ahead. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.